Hello, welcome to the Mark Janard Show, the cybersecurity show. Apparently, Ubuntu is going to face a huge change involving sudo, and I'm going to break this developing story right now. However, before I do that, hit that subscribe button and the like button. I appreciate you. So Ubuntu is undergoing a significant change in how it handles the sudo command, starting with the upcoming 25.10 release scheduled for October 2025. The traditional sudo tool written in C will be replaced by a new implementation called sudo-rs, which is written in the Rust programming language. Now, the reason why this changes is because of security and reliability, right? The main motivation is to enhance system security and resilience. The switch to sudo-rs is basically the Ubuntu 25.10. It will improve your system security by memory safety. Rust eliminates entire classes of vulnerabilities, unlike the traditional sudo written in C. Sudo-rs is written in Rust, a language designed with strong memory safety guarantees. This means that many common security issues such as buffer overflows, use after free bugs, and other memory corruption vulnerabilities are effectively prevented at compile time. There's fewer exploitable bugs, right? So since privilege escalation tools like sudo run with elevated permissions, any bug can have severe consequences, right? By using Rust, sudo-rs dramatically reduces the risk that a memory error could be exploited to gain unauthorized root access or compromise your system. There's hardened privilege escalation too, so it's basically safer privilege boundaries. Sudo-rs is part of the Trifecta Tech Foundation's Privilege Boundary Initiative, which focuses on making components that handle privilege escalation, such as sudo, right? Much harder to be attacked by leveraging Rust's safety features. Okay, that's just the nits of it. There's the collaboration with experts. So the development of sudo-rs involves collaboration with Todd Miller, the original maintainer of sudo, ensuring that security best practices and decades of experience are incorporated in the new tool. There's improved maintainability and resilience. So it's basically easier to audit and maintain. Rust's design encourages safer coding patterns and makes it easier for developers to audit code for security issues, reducing the chance of introducing new vulnerabilities as the tool evolves. There's fewer legacy features, right? There's a less attack surface. The sudo-rs team is taking a less is more approach, omitting niche and outdated features that could increase the attack surface, focusing instead on robust core functionality. There's transparent for users, so no disruption to workflow. For most users, the switch will be seamless. Your commands, configuration files, and workflows remain unchanged. The improvement is under the hood, giving you stronger security without requiring you to change your habits. Also, part of a larger initiative, this move is part of Ubuntu's broader effort to oxidize its core system tools, right? Transitioning security, critical utilities to memory safe Rust implementations for better overall system safety. Now, sudo-rs, right? What is it? It's a drop-in replacement. Sudo-rs is designed as a near drop-in replacement for the classic sudo. For most users, daily usage will remain unchanged. Running commands with elevated privileges will work as before. It's written in Rust, right? The new version leverages Rust safety features to reduce the risk of security flaws. Okay, it's developed by the Trifecta Tech Foundation. It's collaborating with the, basically a nonprofit focused on secure open source infrastructure to develop and maintain sudo-rs. Now, sudo-rs aims to be a near drop-in replacement for the traditional sudo. So for most common administrative tasks, your experience should remain familiar. However, there are some differences that you may notice or miss, especially if you use advanced or niche features. So features that you will probably still have, like the basic privilege escalation, running commands with elevated privileges like the sudo command, works as expected. Running commands as other users or groups, like options like the U, basically run as another user, or the G, which is run as another group, or core features are supported. Listing aloud commands like the flag that the L flag, to list what commands you can run with sudo, that is available. Environment variable handling, so options such as E, that's to preserve environment, and the use of variables like the editor, the home, the path, the shell, and the sudo_prompt are expected and are to work, right? The password prompt and command logging, so you will still be prompted for your password and your commands that run with sudo to be logged for security and auditing purposes. Now, here are the features that you might miss or notice that are different, right? There is the ability to use the LDAP based sudo policies and the sudo edit feature on Ubuntu. There, in regards to the LDAP integration, the initial version of sudo-rs does not support distribution sudo-rs policies via LDAP, which is a feature used in some enterprise and managed environments to centrally manage sudo permissions. With classic sudo, right, the LDAP support is available sometimes via the sudo LDAP package, allowing sudo privileges to be managed through directory services. So if your workflow depends on LDAP-based sudo access, you may find this feature missing in sudo-rs. There's the sudo edit functionality. So the sudo edit feature, which allows safe editing of files as root using sudo, that's the E, or invoking sudo edit, is not fully implemented in the initial sudo-rs release. This could affect users who rely on sudo edit for securely editing configuration files without giving their editor full root privileges. Some advanced or legacy options, that are basically rarely used options, the niche ones, right? As sudo-rs is focusing on core functionalities first. There are going to be some custom, Easter eggs or insults. So the classic sudo has some hidden features like displaying an insult on incorrect password entry, which may not be present in the sudo-rs. Now, you can test it or you can switch it, right? There's the experimental tool. So Ubuntu offers an experimental tool called the Oxidizer to help users and developers test the switch between the traditional and Rust-based utilities. There's a fallback if available. So the classic sudo remains installable, so users with specialized needs or compatibility concerns can revert if necessary. So if you experience problems with the sudo-rs after Ubuntu switches to it as the default, you can revert to the classic original sudo utility. And here's how to do it. You can use the update alternative system. So Ubuntu provides both sudo-rs and the original sudo package, allowing you to switch between them using the update alternatives command. So this tool manages which version is active when you type sudo in the command. You have to open the terminal, run the command. Peter, please put that code on the screen. Follow the prompts. You will see the list of available sudo implementations. Select the original sudo, which is usually listed as the user, then bin, then sudo by entering the corresponding number. This process will restore the original sudo as the default command for administrative tasks. So here's a note. If you encounter a situation where neither sudo or nor sudo-rs works, and you lose administrative access, you may need to use recovery mode to restore your privileges, right? That involves, booting to recovery mode, dropping to a root shell, and either reinstalling, the original sudo package or restoring your user's sudo privileges. That's what I have for today. Please take a moment right now to hit that subscribe button and the like button. I appreciate your viewership. See you in the next video.